Clean transport is one of the 4 sub-trends of the Climate Fund. Can you tell us more about clean transport?
So clean transport is obviously one of the sub-trends in the fund, and it's the more exciting one because this is where the electric car companies sit in. When we look at this area of the fund, what we're trying to invest in here is really the rise of electric vehicles. What we know today is 3% of all cars sold last year were electric. And we know with a reasonable amount of confidence at some point, 80% of all cars in the world are going to be sold electric. It's saying to be sometime in 2030 or 2040 or 2050. And so we're trying to take advantage of that trend. What that also means is you get a huge S-curve in the adoption of electric cars, but you also get a big S-curve in adoption of batteries and infrastructure that surrounds that. If we look at these S-curves today, what that actually means that if you go from a 3% share of cars being electric to an 80% share of cars being electric, both these markets are going to grow, 20, 30-fold in size over time. And so what we're showing you on these two slides is the total addressable opportunity for battery demand, and in terms of gigawatt hours, and the total addressable opportunity in dollars. And we see, as I said, there's 10, 20-fold growing in the market over a 10 to 20 year period. There are a number of ways of playing this. You can do this for the battery side. You can do this through the resource companies, so the companies that create the lithium or the cobalt or the nickel that go into these batteries. Or you can also do it through the people who make the batteries, like a Samsung SDI or an LG Chemical, etc. And then lastly, you can do it through the companies that build the cars, like the Teslas, etc. From our point of view, the company we like here at the moment is Samsung SDI. Samsung SDI is listed in Korea. It is one of the 5 big battery makers in the world today. The company is obviously trading at a high multiple, pricing in some of this growth, but I think the market is underestimating how long this growth runway is going to be and how important Samsung SDI will be in it. Not just for cars, but also for buses or for scooters or for bikes or for these people who drive past you in skateboards. And also it's important to remember the renewable energy opportunity. So every renewable facility becomes more productive when it has a big battery next to it. And Samsung, most importantly, is a leader in these large container-sized batteries and has built many of these around the world today. That's our idea in batteries. When it comes to electric cars, it's hard to look past Tesla. Yes, the company has done well, but it is clearly, I suppose, the Apple of electric cars. And what we're trying to show you here on this slide is just really not to underestimate how long Tesla's runway is. And what we're trying to show you here is a good example of the smartphone market versus the electric car market. And we see a lot of similarities here. When we first started looking at Apple in 2008, they were just building a phone for the first time, trying to disrupt Nokia, Samsung, Ericsson. In the end, we thought the mobile phone market being 500 billion, that Apple could maybe capture 20% of the market and get to sort of a 200 billion market cap from the 50 billion it was at the time. What we now know is it captured the phone market, captured the app store, captured the recurring payments and everything on top of that, and it's now a $2 trillion company today and the largest company in the world. When we look at Tesla, we see a very similar setup, essentially trying to disrupt the existing car makers with their new electric cars. The difference is the size of the market's 5 times the size. It's a $2.5 trillion market. A couple of years ago, Tesla was a $50 billion company. It's very rapidly grown to 600 billion. But if you actually look at the permutabilities and possibilities into the future, as we go to more electric cars, Tesla sells 26% of all electric cars in the world today. Yet electric cars are only 3% penetrated. When electric cars are 60% penetrated, if Tesla holds the same market share, it's going to be selling 20 times more cars and be the largest car manufacturer in the world. And so clearly the big bet here is not, are electric cars going to dominate? The big bet is, will Tesla hold that 26% market share? And what can they sell on top of that? And so yes, the company has done well, but we wouldn't count them out into the future and being a very important part of your life as we go into the future, and probably the big winner from this electric car adoption that we're going to see over the next 10 to 20 years.